Jason Kelsey says Jalen Hurts is still beating himself up about the Super Bowl loss. I think we like that, AQ. I think we like that he's still pissed about it.
You got to love it. I mean, that's the one thing they talk about all the time. It's such a cliche saying, but at the end of the day, there's only one team that confetti falls for, right? And so when that happens, you're sitting there, and anybody that's ever lost a Super Bowl, fortunately, I've never been a part of that. But
I have. Thanks for bringing it up.
They say it's pretty bad, right? I mean, all those members of that coaching staff I was with in Tampa, when they lost the Super Bowl to Green Bay, they all said, like, there's no worse feeling when that confetti falls and you're watching everybody else celebrate. You realize, like, you just went through 22 weeks of a grind to get here, to win it, and then now you just walk away with nothing.
Nothing.
Right? Like, nothing. And so, like, of course it's going to beat them up. You got to hope that drives them, that fires in them. Obviously, like, you can't sit there as if you're Jalen Hurts and just be like, hey, I just got the bag. I'm good. I'm like, no, he wants to win Super Bowls, which is cool to see.
Yeah, I think it's a good trait to have, to be pissed off. I do believe there's been times where quarterbacks actually, like, after a Super Bowl loss, just, like, disappear for, like, 3-4 weeks. Yeah. Like, I don't want to hear from anybody. I don't want to talk to him. Because the quarterback's obviously a massive focal point of the build of the 130 million people watching. So, like, you are literally the person that is taking the blame for the loss publicly. And also, you probably feel as if you let down the entire locker room, the entire organization, the entire city. It can be a real low point, I think, for guys. And that was the most devastated room I've ever walked into in my life. I've only gone to a few funerals. Okay, it's not really my favorite thing to do, but with close friends passing away, feel obligated to go pay my respects and kind of do that thing. But normally when you walk into funerals, there's certainly people that are negative, but then there's like stories being told, and there's a little bit of some sort of reunion feeling, like a little bit of, that locker room was the most negative room I'd ever walked into in my entire life with a group of people. Everybody, trainers, equipment managers, coaches, players, obviously, front office, everybody that has been around the NFL a lot longer than I had been. I was a rookie at that point, knew the opportunity that was there and how hard it is to get it back. Now, people think that the Patriots are just the norm, because the Patriots were able to do it for 20 years. That shit is not the norm. It is a devastating thing. So whenever I heard Kelsey talk about Jalen Hurts taking it hard, it's like, everything I hear about this guy, I fucking love Jalen. He works his ass off in the weight room. I guess his teammates all just absolutely love him. And then on the field, he works. You can tell that he works. His arm was the big question mark going into last year, and then he became one of the most proficient passers in the NFL. It's like, I love everything I hear about him. Good for the Eagles. And if they would like to trade, no, we're good.
You got the guy.
Anthony
You got your guy.
We got the guy. I don't want Josh Allen either. I don't want Josh Allen either. So if Bean comes on here again, I am not going to offer him anything to trade Josh Allen to the Indianapolis Colts. Nope. I'm good with Anthony Richardson. But that is, with how good Jalen is, like, that's why the Anthony Richardson dream is real. Because it's like Steichen just had an immense amount of influence on what Jalen has become. But is Anthony what Jalen is off the field? And that's like, that's the big question mark, I think.
Well, I don't know. Jalen is special, man. From college, from all the stuff he went through, and then still go and perform at a high level like he did last year. I don't know if we could compare those two.
Well, listen, I'm just saying that's the hope is that he is. But this is just like when people, start saying, this guy could be the next AQ Shipley. It's like, why? Because he's built the way he's built and his arms aren't as long? Yeah. Or is this guy have a barbed wire tattoo on his left arm?
Bald? Because he's bald.
Does this guy have just an absolute dog mentality at all times in between his ears? That's the thing you can't judge. Jalen seems to have it all figured out.